What's going on today, Guardians? Hey, listen, I had a request by some of the people in the comment sections in the last few videos asking for my, I guess my Stormcaller build. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and open that up, show you exactly what I use and what works best for me and my playstyle, of course, because that is the big key thing there, guys. Subclasses, some things don't always work well for other people because playstyles, well, they differ from player to player. Fellas, before we get started, man, if we can go for 1,000 likes, helps me out a ton. And keeps the channel, man, keeps everything rolling. I want to keep rolling right into Rise of Iron. So without further ado, fellas, let's get started. Alright, fellas, so let's go over this Stormcaller build. By the way, before we get started, just take a look here. I normally run a 5-2-5. I gotta swap some gloves. I don't know what my other gloves are. Either way, it's normally a 5-2-5, which is what I like to run on a Stormcaller. You always want to make sure your strength is boosted as much as possible. So in most situations, like in sweats, you're gonna be running another legendary and nothing but legendaries. So you really want to make sure that's dialed down as much as you possibly can, because that is your biggest strength there. Yeah, your biggest strength there. Okay, so before we get started, also I want to go ahead and just comment that this is something I not only use in sixes, but I use in threes a bunch. I use this setup in threes more than anything. I usually play threes a lot more than anything, and I use it in trials. Arc bolt grenade. This might just throw some of y'all for the loop, because I know a lot of people like to go with the storm grenade, and I'm not saying storm grenade isn't good, but arc bolt grenade is for me better. You know, storm grenade's got that ability to zone off. Arc bolt grenade to me has got the ability. I've always been used to using arc bolt, and so I feel comfortable transitioning from my hunter class to this class and picking up arc bolt, and the ability for it to kind of hit. It doesn't hit instantaneously because it's got to do a revolution before it hits everybody, but for it to do that pretty quickly and for me to be able to get a melee off, it still does a great grenade to melee transition there. Let's look at focus burst. You always want to be running that across all your classes, man. Go ahead and just hit up that Ionic blink, dude. I see so many people try to come down here with superconductor, so many people with landfall. Not saying landfall or superconductor isn't good. You really want to go with Ionic blink when you start getting into competitive play, man. Anytime you start getting into competitive play, use Ionic blink, man. Amplitude, dude, you want to maximize that damn thing. I know it, everybody hates it, but here's the thing, dude, you really want to amplify that, so go ahead and do that right now. You know what I mean? Make it a little more OP. I run I think this is a 7-8-2, and that's normally what I run. So you just take a look at your builds here. Of course, adjust this whatever way you want it, but this is the most critical perks right here. Pulse wave. When critically wounded, trigger a pulse wave that boosts speed for you and your allies. I see so many people do feedback, so many people do transcendence. I'm not saying these two abilities aren't good, but pulse wave for me, especially as a shotgunner with Stormcaller and threes and stuff like that and sweats, pulse wave is critical. It also does a wonderful job for my allies. Can I tell you how many times I've had my buddy Ace tell me, man, I love that pulse wave, because he's a shotgunner too, and we both go in and push in together, and as soon as we push in together and I get critically wounded, man, pulse wave activates and we are flying, dude. It gets us in and out of cover really quickly, and it's something, a perk that should not be overlooked. By far, probably the best perk about Stormcallers. Electrostatic Mine. Storm Trance charges faster when allies are near. When Storm Trance is active, nearby enemies take damage. You can choose whatever you want to right here. Two reasons why I chose this. Number one, chose it because it gave me a little bit of an agility buff. But number two, that thing where it says when Storm Trance is active nearby enemies take damage, that helps a shit ton whenever you're next to people, man. Something about when a person starts taking just a little bit of damage on their screen and they realize they're taking damage, they have issues, man. They don't know how to react to that, so they don't really know how to fight you off. They'll sit there and try to shotgun you and melee you down, but most players are kind of freaking out whenever they start seeing damage hit. The huge thing about this though is in threes, especially when you're running sweats and stuff like that, is when you're most of the time you're going to be next to your allies, how fast it charges your storm trance up, especially if you're running a 5-2-5, man. It's just extremely deadly. So let's hit up some gameplay, guys. Okay guys, I wanted to kind of take a look at this clip real quick and kind of just show you what I like so much about some of these. So of course you saw the Thunder Strike right there, amplitude to even boost it a little more. Now this is where electrostatic mine really comes to play. Notice I blinked out of that, and you notice the Titan behind me, it didn't look like I finished him off, but I did. That was electrostatic mine that actually went into work and finished him off. Now, I really want to outline the importance of Ionic Blink. A lot of people, for some reason, will not load out Ionic Blink, and my question is, why? So notice this guy right here, he pops his blade, he comes in, you want to just blink back and short stop him some more. Notice that finished him off right there. Blade, normally, 9 times out of 10, will always beat a Storm, but if you learn how to really blink back, man, make it second nature, you will be able to beat back Blades. Now, also when it comes to Storms, you really want to make it a habit to really bait people in. Notice I bait these 2 guys in, because here's the thing about Storm that differs from other roaming supers. Other roaming supers, like, you know, when you talk about Golden Gun, is so instantaneous whenever you get a shot off on somebody. When you take into account hammers, you could be running around, jumping and jiving and doing all kinds of crazy stuff and still landing those hammers. Storm, you can be jumping and stuff like that, but at the same token, man, there's a lot of people that kind of comes in there and just, man, they just charge straight ahead at you, all zombified looking, you know what I'm saying? And then they get gunned down, and then they wonder why they get gunned down. It's because you're standing too still, and Ionic Blink really does a good job of keeping that from happening. He does a really good job of avoiding keeping yourself from just staying in one spot and keeping you from getting gunned down in your super. But guys, that is my Stormcaller build. You know, again, this appeases more to an aggressive play style. And that's what I'm going for here. As you see, I'm rocking a Thorn Fellwinter combo. And by the way, before I get any hate about using this combo, understand, man, that's just sweats for you, dude. But anyways, you know, that's what I'm rocking, dude, and it works extremely well. Again, I can't stress the importance of your electrostatic mine combined with Ionic Blink and amplitude to really maximize your melee potential, especially if you're going to be shotgunning. All of these things will make you extremely deadly, man, and that's the thing. A lot of people are going to say in the comment sections, well, I've gotten this many kills with this loadout and this has worked for me here. And again, I'm not saying that that's not good, but what I'm showing you right now is stuff that works against players that are in the top 1%, man. And so that's the thing there, fellas. It's just one of those things that if it can work with those guys, man, it can work with everybody else, man. Those guys actually end up leaving. They were pissed off. Anyways, fellas, thanks so much for coming and watching. Hope this build helps you out, man. And I'll be seeing you guys in Crucible. Later, fellas. Slap that like button like your mama told you right.